What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk. With me today, I am talking to Sam about the guitar that I am most excited to talk to Sam about, because this is the guitar that I personally associate with Sam the most. Sam, what have you got?
I have here my amazing PRS Hollowbody. So yeah, like Dan said, this was a guitar that was a massive part of my life for many, many years. Had to trot across the globe to get this beautiful McCarty. And yeah, I think even before I had it, it's definitely got some stories to tell.
So, I used to play in a band with Sam called Square One. We gigged all over the UK, played at some really cool festivals. And this was the guitar that Sam used all the way through that time. From like the moment I joined the band to the moment the band ended 5 years later.
Yeah.
That was like the guitar at every single gig. Even when you threatened to use a different guitar, I was like, nah, I'm just grabbing this.
Yeah.
So what is so special about this guitar?
Well, it came about because when me and Andy had the first idea for the band, we was super into our country music, or country rock, not like proper country, but you know what I mean, like country, modern country.
Bro country.
Yeah, and we started out like as a recording band, right? So we were like in my parents' dining room with a big recording setup going, and we would literally just work through these tracks, and they'd end up having layers upon layers upon layers. And I found a lot of the parts I was playing were acoustic, but then I'd, you know, be jumping into like heavy electric parts in the choruses and stuff like that.
And drunk.
Yeah. And yeah, so I needed a guitar that I felt like when I went out live, we decided in the end, after writing a load of songs, we were like, actually, these songs are pretty cool. This is going well. Maybe we should find some guys we can play with and actually get out on the road with this. And I needed a tool that could do it all, you know, something I didn't want to be, well, I say I didn't want to be. I would have loved to have been swapping between a Strat and a Les Paul and an acoustic, but you don't really get that luxury when you're a broke touring band on the road or playing festivals or whatever. You're usually all cramming into one car. So I needed a guitar that did it, and I'd saved up a bit of cash. Figured something with a piezo was going to be the thing that was the trick for me, so I could do electric and switch to acoustic. Really fancied a PRS, couldn't find one anywhere in the UK. Happened to be going to America on a bit of a holiday, music, adventure, vibey thing, and it was fairly near Norm's Rare Guitars. They happened to have 6 in stock at the time, and yeah, the rest is history, so this was the one.
Nice. And who did you buy the guitar off? Who served you?
Yeah, so when I went to Norm's, I didn't think I even realised at the time, you know, how cool this was, but it was actually Mark Agnesi who I did the deal with. Legend of a dude. Back in the day when I bought this, 2015 I think it was, I got this. You know, Mark was like the dude who did Norm's Rare Guitars, the daily guitar videos that they were doing on YouTube at the time, so it was like his guitar of the day. And that was awesome, so it was really cool. And coincidentally, you had to make an appointment at the time. They were like appointment only, and I made an appointment, and literally, as I was arriving, the Edge was leaving, because U2 were playing at, I can't remember what it's called. I don't think it was the Hollywood Bowl. I think it was like somewhere else, but near there. It was some big venue in LA anyway.
Forum?
No, it was cool. It was in, there's a place like right on the outskirts of LA that's got like I can't remember. It will come back to me. If it comes back to me, we'll pop an overlay, but I can't remember what it was. But it was right near where we were staying anyway. So yeah, that was really cool, and the experience in there was really cool. Like I said, they had a load of these in there. I think 3 or 4 of them were non-piezo ones, and they had 2 or 3 that were piezo. Most of the other ones they had were way out of my price range. They were like really luxury, crazy finishes, birds and all that kind of stuff. This thing was just, it felt like the right one anyway, regardless of the financial situation. I didn't even consider at the time that it had moons. I didn't even know that was really, I wasn't really a PRS nut at the time, so I didn't even realise that the whole moon bird thing. But this was it. I've always had a thing for natural finishes. I just like it. I think it's fairly timeless and classy. It played great. It sounded great. And it had a lot of history as well, which Mark kind of filled me in on, which was awesome.
One of the most hilarious things I think as well is we were lucky enough to get invited to one of the VIP Gibson Garage opening nights before it officially opened, and Mark was there, and it was hilarious because obviously he's like in his full Gibson mode, giving a speech to everyone about Gibson, the history of Gibson, how great it is. And we went to say hello and meet him, and Sam just kind of went straight up to him and was like, "Hey, you probably don't remember me, but you served me in this shop, Norm's, in LA. I bought my PRS from you. Here's a picture of it. It's the greatest guitar. It's like the best guitar in the world. It was like amazing. It's the best." And Sam's just loudly talking about how this PRS is the greatest guitar in the world.
Had photos out.
Yeah. While he's trying to convince everyone, like, "Oh yeah, you should buy Gibson because Gibson's just like the best thing ever."
Sometimes you just got a fanboy.
And yeah, the look on his face was just like, remember where you are, Sam. But yeah, that was cool. And pre-you, whose guitar was this? Where has it been?
Yeah, so this was traded into Norm's Rare Guitars by none other than Monty Lee Pittman, who is a really, really famous session guitarist, mostly known for Madonna. So this thing, the case is covered in tour stickers, and it's, from what I could tell, Mark didn't know loads about it, and I've done a bit of digging online, haven't found a huge amount, but there is some bits and bobs you can see. But it just seemed to be, it definitely went out on the road. Don't know if he really played it live. It seemed to me that it was more of like a backup guitar, maybe something to have noodling around on a tour bus or something like that. But yeah, it went out and it did its thing, and yeah, it's super cool. So it's great that it's come from a bit of, guitar history, really.
Monty Pittman played with Madonna, Adam Lambert. Just super cool touring musician.
Yeah.
Would you ever let it go? Did you ever let it go?
I did once, yeah. Yeah, so after I stopped using it so much, because I didn't tend to use it outside of like live gig situation with the band. I'm a proper Strat guy at heart, really. So when the band was sort of coming to a close and stuff, I think it was even before then, I ended up selling it to Dan. And then I kind of didn't really think about it for a long time. Dan, you ended up selling it to someone else.
Yeah, so when the band ended, like the band was such a big part of our life. We like played loads of cool gigs and loads. When the band ended and Sam was like, "You know what, I'm gonna get rid of the guitar, I'm gonna sell it," I was just like, this has got to stay in the family. I've got to buy it. And just snapped decision. I was like, right, I'm having it.
Yeah.
I bought it, and I really wasn't doing anything that needed this at the time. So I was just sat looking at it, and then I was like, you know what, I really don't need it. I messaged Sam and was like, "Do you want to buy it back?"
I didn't have the money.
Sam was just like, "No, keep moving forward, don't look back. It's all about the future, not the past. Just let it go. No, memories, whatever, throw it away, just chuck it in the bin." And so I put it on Reverb, and some cool guy bought it. Yeah. And that's where the story ended for me.
Yeah, and then I had some spare money and decided that it was actually a really important part of life, that I really wanted to have this guitar back, and I missed it massively. And actually one of the guys I went to LA with had messaged me just like, "Don't even speak to me, like, you sold the guitar, we traipsed across from LA to Tarzana for this," and like obviously joking. And so anyway, it turns out that I found the guy who Dan had sold it to. And I messaged him a couple of times. I was like, "Look, dude, if you ever want to sell it, like, no pressure." I was like, "But please just give me first refusal. Like, if you ever want to shift it on, I will buy it. Like, anytime, any place. I'll set the cash aside. I'm good to go." And he was like, "Nah, I don't really want to sell it. Like, I love it. I use it all the time." And I was like, I can't be that guy who's like, I'm not going to twist his arm into it, because it's like, he obviously is enjoying the guitar. And then I left it for 6 months to a year, a long time. And I was like, you know what, I'll give him another message. And he was still like, to be honest, man, I just can't see me selling it. Like, I use it all the time. It's really cool. And I was like, well, is it because it's that guitar, or is it because you love a Hollowbody piezo thing? And he was like, oh, I don't even use the piezo, actually. It's like, I just love the Hollowbody thing. And I was like, okay. And we had a PRS Hollowbody in stock here at Guitar Gear Giveaway, a non-piezo one that I bought for a competition. And I was like, well, what about if I could find something that would replace it for you? And he was like, yeah, like I just like it for what it is. Like, I would definitely, you know, I just don't see them come up often, which is totally true. So anyway, I sent him a picture of this one, and he was like, oh my God, that was my dream finish.
Yeah,
that was the one I originally wanted. I really wanted the violin burst, and it didn't have the piezo, which worked out perfectly, because when I bought this, obviously I got a really good deal because I bought it in America, and then the prices on them over here are crazy, but the non-piezo ones aren't as expensive.
Yeah.
So, but he was totally happy with that. So anyway, the end of the day, his missus happened to be working at the hospital near us, so he was in the area. He came in, had a look, loved it, just did a swap.
It was great when he walked in and saw me.
Yeah.
He just walked in and saw me, and I'm like, hey again.
Yeah, so it was mad, really. So mad turn of events. And it was probably gone from either of our possession for 4 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then now it's back, and it's never going.
I just find it hilarious that for all those years that he owned it, it's still got the same strings on that I put on it.
Yeah.
He didn't even change the strings.
I think it's the perfect guitar to sit around and noodle. Like, if you, again, it's a bit fancy for like what you call like a living room guitar or something like that. But I think that's exactly what the dude was. He was like, it's just great. It's like somewhere between an electric and acoustic. You can plug it into an amp if you want, or you can just sit and just play with it acoustically, and it sounds wicked.
Yeah. So, any plans to use it in your new band?
Probably not live. Definitely like the sounds that we've gone in, the direction we've gone in now with Whiskey Embers is a bit more rock and rolly, and it just demands my Strat with a humbucker in the bridge. But this has a spectacularly special place on my wall in my studio at home. I only have a handful of guitars that I kind of leave out, that I'm like little pieces that I think might inspire me to pick up and write a song or play a certain part or whatever. So I tend to always have a Strat laying around, I tend to have a Tele laying around, I always have my acoustic, and I always have this. And that's kind of it, you know, because this does have a different thing to an acoustic. Like, if I'm playing an acoustic guitar, you start playing like cowboy chords, and you just like, you start strumming and writing like sort of country rocky tunes down here. But if you pick this up, you just move around the neck like it's an electric, but you get the acoustic feel of it being louder. So yeah, so for me it's like it's just part of the arsenal when it comes to trying to create cool songs and come up with ideas, you know. That's definitely its purpose.
I've got a similar model guitar. I've got a gold top spruce version, and that guitar gets so much use. If you see one of these at a really good deal, I just get it. They are great. It lives on stage in my band and acts as a backup for the acoustic, a backup for the electric. The singer picks it up and plays it every now and again. In the studio, if I'm just like trying to come up with ideas, and you just sat there like, yeah, this sounds really cool for electric. Maybe I want an acoustic part. You just flick a switch. It just sounds like an acoustic. There's no having to like lose your create. They're such an amazing tool. So I'm really glad you got it back. I'm
glad I got it back. To that point as well, Dan is right. They are an amazing tool. But also, if top tier PRS is out of the question, the SE piezo models that you can pick up second hand now for £600-700 are so unbelievably good. Like, they are 90% of the way there to these.
If you're in the mood to
Brilliant.
check out any of our other videos, we did a comparison video between the SE standard Hollowbody, the piezo Hollowbody, my spruce top Hollowbody, to see what the difference is. And I recommend checking that video out. It was a cool video to do. But
yeah, totally. But yeah, man, it's a beauty. It's just, I think now I'm getting older. It's one of those guitars, like my J45, like my sort of custom-made Strat and my 1990 Les Paul.
Yeah.
And they've transcended being guitars now. They're part of like the history of like whatever I've done in music, and they're just, they're just there. They're not even part of the collection. They're just part of me now. They're just here forever. So glad to have it back. It's a beauty.
I hope you don't get put in the same situation as what you put the other guy in, that Monty doesn't reach out and go, oh, my PRS, oh, I should have never let it go.
I think at that point we just have to slice it down the middle and have half each.
Yeah. Cool. Well, there you go. I love this guitar. It's so great to see it in the flesh again. Check out our other videos. It's been such great fun taking a trip down memory lane with some of these guitars. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all those things that help us grow. These are the guitars that mean the most to us. See you in another video.